Hey, now I'm a rock star.
Hello, it's V-Day 26 already, and it looks like that we have a plumbing failure somewhere in the neighborhood because it's about 11 degrees below zero, and that's water in the trench. So somewhere there someone's plumbing has gone kabong. As I told you yesterday, I'm glad that I'm not a house owner. There's this thing I was meant to mention in yesterday's vlog, but my camera died, so I couldn't do it. I got a I don't know what it's called in English, but direct translation from Finnish is a net stick. So it's this kind of a it looks like a memory stick, but inside of that there's a 3G chip, same kind of a card that you use in mobile phones, so you can get mobile internet. And I got it because our broadband is just terrible, and I'm going to change the broadband provider because I did some testing, and with our regular broadband we have 8 meg connection. I can hardly push it up to 3 megs, and with the net stick I can get 8.5 megs, and it's a 10 meg stick. And I don't know what the heck is wrong with our broadband connection, because connection between the Wi-Fi router and computers is excellent. The signal level is excellent, but the actual broadband speed is terrible. And I know I'm not the only one who's complaining about this same provider. But my current contract ends, I think it's November this year, and I'm not going to continue with them. That net stick is from the same company I got my mobile phone connection, and they actually do what they promise, but our current broadband provider can't provide. As you may have noticed, I'm outdoors quite a lot, and the main reason for that is that we don't have a car, and actually I don't even have a driver's license. So if I or my family needs something, I have to get it by foot. And that's actually a very good moment to do this kind of stuff, because when you're walking, thinking basically about nothing, quite often there's this one thought that rises above the others, and that's a good moment to grab a camera. And that's why I'm glad I got this camera that I'm using now, because I can't use my phone because of the reasons I've already covered pretty much in previous vlogs. But let's just say that iPhones can't take the weather we have here, or temperatures we have here. And this camera's battery is actually quite robust. I've done some vlogging in minus 20 degrees temperatures, and the battery works just fine. Although, like all electric devices, it's not completely invincible what comes to cold weather, but this is way better than my phone. Today is Saturday, payday was Wednesday, and I'm already almost broke. So yeehaw, yippee-ki-yay. But we're living rather interesting times, because since last spring my wife's been in these job experiments or something like, I don't know again the English term for them, but she works somewhere, but the place she works in doesn't pay her, but her money comes from our social system. And now she's been in a convenience store for a bit over a month, and within 2 months we know if they hire her. And if they do, that will be a massive upgrade for our monthly budget, because as a practical nurse I'm not making that much per month, but we'll manage if nothing unexpected happens. But since we're living in apartment building, so we're not house owners, we can save quite a lot of money because we don't have to pay all that stuff that comes with owning a house. So if something breaks down, we don't have to pay it. We just call someone to fix it, and that's it. We don't have to pay anything for it. Or if we do, it's not much we have to pay. But if she gets that job, then we can actually start saving something, because right now we have this kind of an emergency budget or emergency account that we have, and there's about 200 euros in that account. And if something unexpected happens, that's not much. But I really hope she gets the job, because it'll make things a whole lot easier. So this is a speed test for my current broadband provider. Let's start it. Ping is 10 milliseconds and download speed is okay, so it's 3.8 megs, and I'm paying for 8 meg connection. And now the upload speed, I'm paying for 1 meg. So I have 8 meg download speed from my broadband provider, and the speed I'm getting is 3.18. So it's 3.18 and I'm paying for 8. And my upload speed should be 1 meg, and that's good, because this is how it usually is. And this is stable, this isn't. So I'm paying for 5 megs I'm not getting. So okay, let's try another device. This is the thing I was talking about. You connect this to your laptop's USB port or your computer's USB ports, and then you can have wireless 3G internet access. Let's try. Okay, so now I'm using this instead of our Wi-Fi router up there. Let's take the test. Start. Ping is 70 milliseconds, which is fine because I don't play online games. So the download speed is 5.75 and stable. Upload speed 2.32 stable. And our washing machine is on, which means that it causes some interference into the signal because it's so close. But the fact is that this is a 10 meg 3G net stick, and I'm getting 5.75 even with that interference, and my upload speed is 2.32 with this stick. But if I'm using our broadband connection, the connection is very unstable and it doesn't give me what I'm paying for. So our broadband provider can't provide. And the signal between the computer and the router is excellent. And all the settings in that router are good. So I think I'm changing my broadband provider as soon as this contract goes, because this is ridiculous. I mean, I'm paying for 8 megs and I'm not getting even half of that, and even that what I'm getting is unstable. And yesterday I told you that it's quite cold in Helsinki. I mean yesterday in Helsinki it was 28.9 degrees below. And in southern Karelia it was 33.2 below. And the record for this winter is 34.7 below. So it's pretty cold. I just got thrown out from my own home by my own family. And telling the truth, I don't blame them, because I've been having these very rapid mood swings for a few months now. So let's just say that I've had a very short fuse for some time now, and nobody wants to be near a person who's grumpy all the time, or who can't be relatively happy and 2 seconds later, bang. And I think it's what's nagging me is the lack of control. No, I don't feel that I have control over anything in my life at the moment. Financially, family-wise, well, professionally, but the nature of my job is what it is, so I can't be angry about that. But it's just that when you don't feel, or when you feel that you can't control anything, so nothing's going the way you would want it to go. Some say that it's time for this mental growth. But I can't take it that way. Even if I try, I'm still grumpy, and basic mood is angry or frustrated. And basically this vlog is the only thing that gives me the sense of control, because I can't decide what I put in and what I don't. So now I'm going to take a walk a few hours, then I'll go back home to check the situation. But I fully understand my family. You wouldn't want to be with someone who's unpredictable what comes to moods. So I really don't blame them. When me and my wife first started dating and started to know each other a bit better, we pretty quickly realized that we'll be having times like these ahead if we stay together. But now there are 3 of us, and that makes things a whole lot more complicated, because when both parents are frustrated, it's very hard to maintain this kind of a sense of security for our daughter. And before she was born, these things were relatively easy to handle. It was like, okay, you go in that room, I go in that room, and when the time is right, we'll get back into the same room and talk about it. But now we have a child in the house, so you can't kind of stew in your own rage in peace. And a lot of times it's our daughter who gets the worst of it, not physically but mentally. And of course, as a parent, I don't like it at all. But it's just difficult, because I'm the one who has ADHD. I'm constantly talking. If there's someone who's listening, well, great. If there's not, well, that's fine too. And my wife is a very quiet person. She likes to be in silence, reading a book, doing her knitting and own things. So sometimes things are getting out of hands because I get frustrated because she's not talking, or let's put it this way, I get frustrated because there is no conversation. If the communication between parents is something like take out the garbage, and did you already wash the toilet? It's getting frustrated because I want to have, you know, an adult to adult conversations, and she just wants to be in peace and do her own things. And when these things kind of glitch, or I don't know the exact word, but let's just say that when emotions are clashing, it's hard to deal with that stuff, because at the same time you are a frustrated adult and a parent of a 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old, and home is the place where you're supposed to be safe from everything, and that's not happening right now. I mean, physically there is no violence in our family in any way, but mentally our home is quite hard place to be mentally, and that shows. I can see that it shows. I can see that it's having effects, and I know that it will pass. Just let the time do its work. But when there's a child in a house, time is precious with these kind of things, because if stuff like this continues for too long, it will leave a permanent mark. And that's one thing I know. That's one thing I can say that I know. If stuff like this goes on month after month, year after year, it will leave a scar. And that's something I don't want to happen. I think this is one part of doing daily vlogs, because some days are good, some days are bad, and that's reality. And there are a lot of vloggers, and now I'm guessing, but anyway, who don't document the dark moments of their lives, or if they do, they don't insert those things into their vlogs. They keep it personal. And there are some daily vloggers, if you watch their videos, they're living, you know, full-blown American dream. But that's not reality. That's entertainment. But I'm guessing, and without knowing, I know. That's a bit confusing. But there are people who don't want to show, who only want to expose themselves when they are in their finest. And that's why I like, for example, Scasius's videos, because in those vlogs bad days are bad days, and that's what makes them interesting. But if you look at some other, you know, big vloggers who are doing dailies, it's all about happy moments and big things. And yes, those things are part of their life, but that's not their whole life. And I think if they'd start to put those things in, they would probably lose subscribers, because for many people internet and vlogs are some kind of a form of escapism. They can get into someone else's life and they want to forget about the bad things that are happening in their own life while watching those videos. And I think that's why some people don't well, they, as I said, they might document these kind of days, but they don't publish that material. But I think I'm too old to lie. No, bad days are bad days, and that's reality. And the way I'm talking about these things are probably making things sound worse than they really are. But I'm just worried because if there's constant tension between parents, it will show in the behavior of their children. And me and my wife very rarely Texas again, we fight very rarely. I mean, even these vocal fights. But when we do, they'll hear it a few blocks away, and that happens about once or twice a year. So not all that often. It's quite peaceful here, usually. But this is kind of a worst situation that there can be. There basically is no fighting, there's no yelling, just kind of this kind of a constant mental pressure, and the atmosphere is tensed up. And I don't like that, because it shows in the behavior of my daughter that everything's not okay. But as I said, when I'm talking about it to you, it probably sounds worse than it is. But I just can't help myself being worried. So hopefully today's vlog will be a bit more upbeat, up spirit, lifted, whatever, happier. So until tomorrow, see ya!